To build my cornhole boards, I'm going to be using this 1/4 inch Luan plywood. And this stuff's pretty thin, so I'm going to show you a way that you can strengthen this up by using braces. This is going to be the tops of both of the boards, and I'm also going to use 2x4s for the frame. The dimensions of these boards are going to be 2 foot wide by 4 foot long. These pieces of Luan plywood that I got are exactly 2 foot wide by 4 foot long. So all we got to do is build a frame and hook it onto these Luan boards. Once we get the frame built and the boards attached to the top, we're going to build a set of legs for it and then drill a 6-inch hole in the top of it. We're going to start out by building the base of these boards. So we're going to go ahead and cut 4 boards at 24 inches and we're going to cut 4 boards at 45 inches and actually give us our 2 foot by 4 foot dimensions. I am going to go ahead and cut these boards, then we'll be back to build this frame. I got my 4 24-inch pieces and 4 45-inch pieces. So now we're just ready to assemble this frame. So again, it's pretty basic stuff. We're going to do it right here on the table saw, and I'll show you how I'm going to assemble this. These are my 24-inch pieces here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a Forstner bit. This is a 3/8 Forstner bit, and we're going to drill 2 holes on each side of every one of these 2x4s. Now we're only going to drill them down in about the thickness of this blade right here. Then we're going to use screws to screw these together, and then we're going to come back through with a 3/8 plug and plug the holes. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take an 1/8 inch bit and we're going to go and pre-drill our screw holes in every one of these countersunk Forstner bits holes we just drilled. So I just got the frame sitting on my table saw and I got it clamped down to the piece of Luan plywood that we're going to use as the top. And I clamped it down to make sure everything is going to line up the way it's supposed to line up. Everything is good on each side and that everything is square. So I took a square here, if I can get it picked up. I took a square here and just checked all my corners, just making sure that everything is square. And we are good to go. And it's not critical if it's off a little bit, but you do want to keep it pretty much square. Now that everything is clamped down and everything is squared up, we can go ahead and take our screw gun and the holes that we drilled here on the sides, we can go ahead and screw all them together. So what I'm going to use is just a regular 2-inch wood screw. Okay guys, there is one frame done. We're going to clamp up the second frame, do the exact same thing. I'm not going to show it since we already showed it once. And then once we're done with that, we'll come back and attach the tops. Over here in the corner of the shop, if you can see, I got my 2 frames already made up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work on this top. Now there's 2 sides of these tops. There's a good side and there's a bad side. This is the bad side. You can see there's a knot here. It's not the prettiest looking. Flip this thing over. We got a nice smooth side. There's no knots. There's a sticker here, but we'll get that off. So this is going to be our top. What we got to do is we got to drill a 6-inch hole in our top. So what we're going to do is measure down 9 inches and mark that, and measure in 12 inches from the side and mark that. And that'll be the center of the board. Now we just got to take a compass, draw a circle on there, and cut a 6-inch circle out. So we got our frames done, and now we're just going to go ahead and attach our pieces of Luan to our frame. Once they're attached, then we're going to cut out that 6-inch hole. We're going to attach this using a brad nailer. Okay, there's one down, one to go. Okay guys, I got my tops on my boards here, and now we're going to make our legs. So what we're going to do is, I got 2 pieces of wood, and these need to be about 12 inches long. These are 14. I'm going to cut them down to 12 when I'm done. But we're going to round one of the ends. Instead of keeping it square, we're going to round it. So I was going to use a small piece of tape and make it round. So just kind of center it up. Doesn't have to be perfect, as long as it's close or it looks decent. That's all that matters. And then just bring this the rest of the way around. Kind of like that, if you can see that. Maybe you can't. Kind of like that there. Then we're just going to take it over to our bandsaw and we'll cut that out and then sand it down smooth. Unfortunately, I forgot to hit record on my camera when I went ahead and drilled the holes out for the feet, cut the radius and sanded it down, and also cut the holes in for my, what you can't see, in the side of my box here. So the legs are done and they've been bolted on, everything works, I just forgot to record it. So there's nothing I can do about that now. What we're going to do now is flip this thing over, mark our 6-inch hole, and go ahead and cut that out. What we got to do is cut a 6-inch hole right here. So what we did was measured down 9 inches from the top and then 12 inches in from the side to get center. And now we're going to cut a 6-inch hole. I don't have a compass, so I'm just going to use this. What I did was took a flat piece of wood, put a screw in, measured down 3 inches, drilled a hole big enough for my pencil to fit into. I'm just going to take this, screw it down to the center of my hole, put my pencil in, spin it around, and that should give us a perfect 6-inch circle. And now that we got our circle marked on here, I'm going to go ahead and take a Forstner bit, cut a small hole in here so we can take a jigsaw and cut this circle out. So we are about done with this project. The last thing we need to do is install our legs. These are our legs, which we rounded out and drilled a hole in the center. And I went ahead and cut a 25-degree angle on the bottom side of the leg. So whenever they're standing up like that, it's pretty much flat on the ground. I'll be using 5/16 bolts, 3.5 inches long, 2 flat washers, and a lock nut to put these legs on. Then this thing is pretty much done. So this project is done. I got to go ahead and put a finish on this, but everything else is done. I got the top on, I got the frame built, the legs are on, and it's basically done. That's going to do it for this video. If you like this video and want to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button. Click that bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. If you got any questions about this video, go into the comment section and leave your questions there. Like this video, share this video, and thanks for watching.